Let me explain as if you are a lazy dum-dum how to make this swimsuit. Let's pretend you already have a sewing machine and you're not going to go impulsively buy one at Walmart right now. You're going to need fabric, and this place is great because it comes quicker than my ex, which you'd think would be impossible. It's a 4-way stretch spandex. You're going to need 1 yard total. Go ahead and get a ½ yard of a print and a ½ yard of a solid. You're going to need a pattern. I have one for $4, but in case you're broke, here it is for free. And you know what? Have the readable directions for free as well. Cut out that shape, tape it together. I like to use a piece of fabric. It's easier than a pick-me girl and using the paper. Lay out your fabric, fold it in half. We're going to cut the strings first. You need 3 the length of the fabric, about 2 or 3 fingers wide. Cut 2 of those bottoms out. The top is a triangle but curved on 2 sides. Fold it in half when you've cut one side, that way it's symmetrical. And I know you know what that means because you've used the inverted filter and we all know how ugly we are now. Cut out the same pieces in your solid. Starting with the strings, fold it hot dog style, taco style if you're Mexican, and sew along the border. I'm using a serger. If you just have a sewing machine, stretch the fabric out as you sew it using a straight stitch. All those pieces we're going to sew around the border, leaving one side open so we can flip it right side out. Here's the borders I sewed and the little hole that I'm going to flip it through. Now let's start on the bottoms. And for those of you that are like, that'll barely cover anything, well then add more surface area, big cooch. We're going to do the border of this as well, leaving the bottom gusset part open. The pattern you printed has a little ledge on the side. You can go ahead and cut that off and just do it straight like a triangle. Don't want to state the obvious, but go ahead and flip that right side out and do the border of all your pieces. I then use a loop turner to flip these strings right side out. I call it a hooker, but then it started getting confusing every time I said, "Where's my hooker?" and my roommate came out into the living room. This is everything cut out, and I forgot to mention you're going to need a shorter string, that right there on the right, for your top. The first thing we're going to sew together is these bottom pieces. I'm using a straight stitch. You don't need to stretch it when you sew this part. Do it about a finger's width in, it makes it much easier. We're lazy, we're not finishing edges. Just go ahead and chop off that extra fabric. If you reverse on both ends, it's not going to come unraveled. Now we need to sew the canal that the string is going to go through. Using a straight stitch, do you see how I'm stretching it out as I sew it? Use that same technique if you're doing a straight stitch on the border before you flip them right side out. The distance for the string to fit through is about the same width as your sausage finger. Holy crap, you guys, we're actually making a bikini. Look. Now we're going to take a seam ripper and rip the seam in between those 2 stitches. That way we can stick our loop turner in there and pull the string through. Now we are going to attach those 2 short strings to the top of the triangle top. Using a straight stitch, no need to stretch it out. Be sure to reverse over it a few times to keep that stitch sturdy. Would you look at that? Cut off the extra. Now we're going to sew the canal that string is going to be pulled through for our top the same way you did the bottoms. I know we all like doing the same dumb stuff twice. That's why we've all gotten back with our ex. But you're going to have to do this on the other triangle and the same thing with the bottom as well. You're also going to need to rip the seams in between those canals to fit the strings through as well. How do you pull the strings through? I'm a dum-dum. Well, we grab our loop turner, we stick it in the hole, and we hook it to the string and pull it through. If you're broke, take this bikini and sell it for $50. It costs $25 to make, but you can make more than one out of the materials you got. Thank you.